Pre-season has come and gone. We've had wins, losses, we've been home and away. Benidorm has been conquered and the season start is quickly approaching. It will be Wigan away before we even know it. So let's take a quick look at everything we've learned during our eventful pre-season. We've had a bit of a change tactically. We're now providing more options from a passing perspective rather than relying too much on Whiteman or Ledson to dictate play from that position. This is obviously to prevent other teams from man-marking that position, which in turn completely slows down our attack. As we kind of knew before, possession is key for Ryan Lowe's setup. Creation of more passing options also helps with our possession-based system. As we've seen over the last few preseason games, we've obviously become a lot more confident when passing at the back, opting to pass along the back line or even back to Woodman if need be, rather than take a riskier pass into midfield and then lose the ball and get completely done on the counter. And specifically from an attacking perspective, the wide centre-backs are being used very effectively. We did see this with Hughes a few times last season, pushing right up the pitch. However, during this pre-season we've looked a heck of a lot more confident with those wide centre-backs being pushed up. They're playing 1-2s with the wing-backs and centre-mids, which then means that the strikers can get into the box or drop back to overload one specific side. As things currently stand, we look a heck of a lot more confident with this type of attacking play on the left, with Hughes and Brady, much more than we do on the right with Potts and Story, for example. Speaking of those wide centre-backs, we're also using diamonds to great success. I've got to give the shout out to Ollie O'Connell on Twitter for picking that up and highlighting it. Make sure to give him a follow, his analysis is spot on. Anyway, these diamonds are usually between the wide centre-backs, the wing-backs, the centre-mid and the striker, as we kind of mentioned before. And this is clearly happening on both the left and the right-hand side with varying levels of success, which in turn was creating more rapid changes in the shape when it came to applying pressure in the final third. Now, talking about some of the specific players, especially the new ones, it's good to look at pre-season at how they're looking. Although this isn't a perfect way to gauge how they'll do in the season, and you only really find that out when the season starts, you at least get a kind of idea of how the manager would like them to be playing. Starting off with somebody who has impressed basically everybody, Brady is looking like an incredible asset. He's athletic, technical on the ball, he has great passing and crossing range. He's also occasionally drifting into the midfield, akin to more modern fullbacks and wingbacks. He's also able to smash the ball right across the pitch to the other side for Potts or Reese to pick up, with pretty much pinpoint accuracy. He's clearly a competent and confident player. He really does feel like a great asset to have. He just needs to stay fit. Now, moving into the midfield, Woodburn has also been mighty impressive, even getting himself on the score sheet. He's definitely more of an attacking midfielder, taking opportunities to intercept while pressing, attacking into space, and always happy to shoot, which we've had some complaints in the past that not enough of our players will shoot. So it's a nice change to have somebody who definitely will. He certainly has potential, but it was hard to tell until the season actually starts. It'll become more clear when we're actually underway, and then if he can actually take minutes from Johnson, Brown or McCann in those overpopulated midfield spots. No matter what happens, it's great that we have depth in those positions. And last but certainly not least for the new lads, Freddie Woodman looks like a solid choice, as we honestly suspected. It's genuinely nice to have a solid number one which we don't have to worry about going back to a parent club at the end of the season. It's yet to be seen if he'll have as many showstopper moments as Everson did during his time at Deepdale, but he's good with his feet, confident on the ball and can make a decent save. He's definitely brought some ease to that position. However, despite all of those positive notes, we do have to talk about the elephant in the room. We are lacking in a few positions, as we mentioned time and time again on this channel and everyone I speak to. Clearly, to me at least, the right side is weaker than the left. Brady has done an incredible job of showing us what a real technical wingback can do. I think that Potts does an excellent job considering he's a converted centre mid, and I love the turnaround he's had in that position. He does get up and down the pitch with seeming ease and can provide chances as well as do a decent job defending. However, I do think that competition for that spot is definitely needed, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. I also think that the same goes for the left hand side. Competition, or at least depth, for Brady, should he have an injury, would be an extremely comforting thing. We shouldn't have to rely on centre mids, despite how good they can be in those positions. It would be nice to have those positions completely covered and we don't have to stress about it anymore. And debatably the most important position we need to look at is the strikers. If we're being completely honest, we have one striker. I don't think we can rely on our other options. Maybe Mikey O'Neill one day, but this season we need strikers alongside Reese. Hopefully this comes in the form of Robinson and Archer, but do we have a plan if not? A plan that we now know definitely doesn't work is playing one lone striker up top. In the first 45 minutes against Leicester, we played a 3-4-2-1, opting to flood the midfield and leave Reece up top on his own. However, this clearly was not drilled correctly or for long enough, or just doesn't work with our current players. And that in turn proves that we need 2 strikers and to use our best system, the 3-5-2. What do you think? Have I missed anything that we've learned during pre-season? Have we got a squad that is good enough to take on the Championship and push higher than we did last season at the very least? Feel free to share your thoughts in a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the town end.